We are live. We are live. All right now. First of all, I want to thank you guys. Welcome to Men Speaking Out on this episode 39. And this is the part three of three Men on Fire series. And this is titled, What's Your Motivation for Keeping Us Happy? Now, that's a broad question, right? What's your motivation for keeping us happy? Let me give you a little context behind that. But before I give context, I want to announce my guests and I want to give them the proper introduction. Okay, so of course, you guys all know me. My name is Boz, and I am very honored to have an esteemed panel of brothers up here with me. It's pretty exciting, and we'll get this cracking. Of course, right next to me on the screen, there's brother John. How you doing, John?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Good, glad you could make it here. Next to John is E. Eric, one of my dear friends from his kids. What's going on, E? Your mic, Eric. Your mic. I think you may be muted.
Once again, my apologies. Thank you for having me. Definitely.
Okay, right on, right on. Right below Eric, I got Tori, the master barber of Indianapolis. What's going on, Tori?
How y'all doing this evening?
All right.
Right on, right on. And of course, to top off the icing on the cake is brother Joe. A buddy of mine for 40 years strong. What's going on, Joe? 40 plus years, I'm sorry. What's going on, JD?
All good, baby. All good. Thanks for having me, boy.
Okay. I'm glad you are here. I'm glad you all are here. So let me give you a little context now of what this actually podcast is all about. Okay. So basically, this is titled, what's your motivation for keeping us happy? All right. And what it means is that in the beginning, we focus our attention on the person that we are dating or married to. But that can sometimes make you lose focus of yourself. So basically, on the other hand, life events happen and make you also lose sight as well. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but we all get it. Life happens. And of course it does. But at the same token, why do we stay off? You see what I'm saying? Why don't we get back on the path? We kind of stay off of it because life brings us obstacles or challenges that we have to deal with. So I call that, in the beginning, we get attention, but not retention, right? So we get attention in the beginning, but we don't retain that, right? And that works both ways for men and women. So basically, I guess the question I want to ask all you gentlemen, and of course, you please, I'm gonna start with you, Eric, because you are a veteran on the show as well, but you all are veterans. I mean, pretty much all of y'all are. But I'm starting with you, E. I'm just picking on you now. So the question I have is for you is that what's your definition of being present in the relationship?
My definition is being a good listener, being tentative to what the signals are within my relationship and the partnership. I think for men, we can become complacent as sometimes our counterpart. When you've spent maybe 5 to 10 plus years together, just as an example, you get comfortable. And a lot of the things that we were very romantic about, very conscious about in the beginning of the relationship kind of falls behind the wayside because, like you spoke, life happens. And I think that at some point, for men, myself, you need to take a pulse check and say, hey, you know what? Are things going the way we want them to go? Can they be better than how the relationship began? And I think before we can point the finger or address any issues within our mate, whether it be girlfriend, wife, or just a significant other, you want to say, hey, are you checking the boxes to what you need to do to bring everything you can to the table?
Okay. All right. Thank you, E. What about you, John? What is your definition as far as being present in a relationship?
For me, I think the big thing is being loyal. With my mate, I need to always let her know and understand that when it's all said and done, we're in this together. And that's one of the things that I always appreciated with my mate. And it's the one thing that I keep checking myself to make sure that I'm doing exactly that, is that I'm always there for, and also being a good listener. I mean, like the other brother said, you got to be a good listener. I mean, it's so often sometimes we hear it so much that it becomes that Charlie Brown, wah, you know. But sometimes what will happen is because we get so comfortable with that, we block them out. We totally tune them out. And many times that I've done that, when my wife came back and explained to me, I was just talking to you about that. And then when I sit back and really think about it and really remember the conversation, I had to come to truth and I said, you know what? You're right. You did tell me that. You know, so I missed that. So, and of course, in the beginning, you're always trying to make sure that you listen very attentively because, you know, you're building that relationship. But then, like you said, you get comfortable. So the one thing that I stress as far as me is being loyal and also being a very good listener. Even if I don't want to hear what they're saying right now, I got to make sure that I can recall it and then come back and say, hey, you know what? You are right. You know.
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you. What about you, Tori? What is your take on that saying, being present in a relationship?
Like I said, Eric hit it right on the nail. Hit the nail right on the head. Being attentive, listening to what my needs are. Being married 24 years now. One thing I would tell my wife was that you love me the way that you feel a man should be loved, but you're not listening to what I'm saying I need personally.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I'm saying you're present with me, then you're hearing me, not listening to where you differ from me, and you want to debate the differences versus versus listening to what I'm actually saying and adhering to it.
Sure.
You know, if
sense.
you can't do that, then you know what I'm saying, those are real issues in a relationship, because I want you here with me on how I feel for my personal time at that time, and you know, just also giving me the space that I need to operate comfortably in our situation.
Okay.
That's part of being present, of understanding sometimes a person needs their own space.
Okay,
you know
that makes good sense. Good sense.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe? What does it mean to you about being present in a relationship?
Basically, just how he said it and everyone else, kind of just, you know, be that ear listening, being there because, like a gentleman said, you know, you can be like, womp, 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 you know, and you come back to it and like, when, babe, I just asked you to, you know, take the garbage out before you went out or whatever, you wasn't listening or wasn't understanding her instead of just focusing that time, vice versa, on each other. And just, you know, kind of being there and just having that ear and that open mind. Just trying to, you know, basically just being there and being present at the same time too, because you can be present without being present. It's kind of, you know, you wasn't even here and not even, you know, paying no attention to anything that's going in one end out the other. You know, basically being focused in the whole situation.
Yeah, just a body in the seat, really. You know what I mean? I mean, basically, you're just physically there, but you're not mentally there. You know, I think for me, with being present in a relationship is understanding your partner. Now, of course, there's a lot of challenges in that space. You know, when I say understanding your partner, I mean, we all cut differently, correct? We all come from different backgrounds. We all have different DNAs and things of that nature. So, you know, what is it really does it mean to be present? Now, I guess for me, what all you all said is valid. It makes perfect good sense. Listening, you know, being tentative, trying to understand, trying to find out what's good for me as an individual, but also at the same time too, we have to somewhat reciprocate that with our partner, you know. But the question is that, you know, are you hearing me? But are you listening to me? But are you really hearing me? You understand what I'm saying? Because that has a lot to do with, you know, being present in a relationship. I can talk all day long, and I can pour my heart out to you, and I can show you this, I can show you that, but you ain't really listening to me. So are you really present? You know? And John, you spot on. Wah wah wah, right? You know, we've all done it, huh? What'd you say?
May I chime in on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I said this on one of the podcasts before. You know, the problem is, you know, relationships, females want us to think like them, and they are emotional creatures, where
Yeah.
males are logical. So it's kind of it takes communication to be able to break down those differences and take the time to understand what each other is saying at that time, because we're looking at the same problem or the same situation, but we have two different approaches on it. One is logical, one is emotional. So when a female is looking at it like this is potentially what it should be or could be, and we're looking at it, this is what it is.
So should they think like us and not themselves?
No, that's why I said communication is key. You know what I'm saying? Because like what you're saying, you have to be present in that other person. So I must spend the time with you to for you to understand my concerns, my thoughts, my dreams, my admiration, and you. But a lot of times, with a female who's dealing with emotions, she's looking at it all on her side and or what potentially it is. And
Okay.
is that's what I run into.
Okay. So let me add a little bit to that. I think, and men, correct me if I'm wrong here. Okay. I think all men want these things. I think all men want a female that's fit, feminine, secure, and submissive. And I believe that those features right there help bring in more motivation for a man. What do you think? And when I say fit, make sure I'm clear on that. When I say fit, I'm talking about being fit physically and also fit to be in a relationship as well. So not just it's being healthy to yourself, not caring what you put on your body, but what you put in it. You know what I mean? That plays a big role. So does that help motivate us to be more loving and caring individuals? You know, and John, I see you up there thinking. I see the wheels turning. So I'm gonna pick on you first. Does that help give us?
It does. And you know, something interesting though. You know, when I first started in my journey with my wife, I've been married 22 years, and I remember I had a set rule, and it was my rules. Okay, but then when I got with my wife and started realizing that we do see things differently, and as I got older, you know, I did get a little bit more emotional as I got older because I started realizing some of the things that she was telling me was right. I didn't want to hear it, but it was right. Okay, so it does go both ways. But regarding the fact that, you know, when I met my wife, she was drop dead gorgeous. She still is. But you know, sometimes when I go out, I'll see another woman, and I'm thinking, dang, she is fire. She's got the right clothes on and everything. And then I see my wife, and I'm saying, well, you know, you've been wearing that for a while, you know, and I understand. You know, she comes back and says, well, you ain't wearing nothing else better either. But I also remember that women are supposed to dress differently than men. You know what I mean? I may look like a slob, and not that I do. Okay, but you're supposed to be on point. Okay, because that's what attracted me to you. Okay, right. So, but on the same token, she came back and said, well, you know what? When I met you, you was weighing 175 pounds. You know, look at you now. Okay.
Right. So, well, you know, it's funny you say that because that's to me, in my eye, that would be self-motivation, right? To try to make sure you're looking good for your partner, right? Wouldn't it? I mean,
it would be. I mean, I would think so. But see, you got to be careful because, like you said, they're emotional. Okay, you dare not tell your wife that she ain't looking at her best because that's attacking her emotionally.
But why though? But why? We should be honest. If we got to be honest in a relationship,
you're right. You're right.
Shouldn't we be able to be tactful in our?
That's the key. You got to be tactful in how to say it.
You're gaining a little weight. You know, maybe we need to go to the gym together, or honey, she'd come back to you and say, well, no, well, goddamn, you look like you didn't ate a whole box of Twinkies.
Yep. But see, society puts a lot of different things on men and women. Okay, and unfortunately, we all buy into it. Okay,
That's
we
right.
buy into it based on what society says a woman's supposed to look like and a man's supposed to look like. And truth be told, women are held to a much higher standard as far as looks than men are. Okay, a prime example that I always use this. And now Beyonce is a very attractive woman. I don't care for as far as her music and her acting, but the looks are there. Okay, so is Kelly Rowland. But when I see her with Jay-Z, I'm like, dang, I don't see it. You know what I mean?
Well, money can make it. Anybody look
That's
good.
right. Money can do that. Money can do that.
Money can make a poor man fine. I mean, Go ahead, Eric. You're gonna say something about that. You want to chime in? Are you gonna comment?
Yeah. So I'll add too is that my viewpoint is that oftentimes I find out even from my wife and other women that they lose their competitive edge, meaning saying when we get comfortable in a relationship, there's nothing wrong with she or that man reminding each other, saying, hey, what about self-care? I love you no less, good, bad, and indifferent, but I want you at your best. And I just don't want to settle. And it goes for men as well. We can get complacent. We can have a couple of beers. We can start eating more burgers and wings and hanging out. And then often, as the metabolism slows down, we didn't add 5 to 15 pounds. And it's all right for our mate to say, hey, you know what, babe, you living the good life a little too much.
Right.
You carrying an extra pouch and stuff like that. And hopefully it will be looked at as healthy criticism. To saying, hey, I want you to have a fit life, to say, let's live a long and fruitful life. But it's not. However, when we men trying to find a gratifying way to extend the same statement, it's taken out of context, or we're being insensitive, or we're being wrong or rude, and like, you should love me how I am, and for what I'm putting on some extra weight. Well, after a while, it becomes a health issue.
Correct.
Now, I don't want you going through health issues, because I want to have a long, fruitful life. So that means we need to exercise. We need to monitor the weight, and then look your best. Because like you mentioned before, John, you can go outside your home and you're in the store, you're at, at the mall or at the park, and you see these other women that's probably single, but they're putting in the work because they want the attention. They're putting in the work because they want to get married. They want to find and accept the man.
Absolutely.
Right.
And our mates are sitting at home saying, I got that guy. I got the love of my life. I'm finna make this stew. I'm finna cook this mac and cheese and this green, this chicken.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it
say it
on the couch and go to sleep.
Say it.
Right.
That's
right.
it.
So what are we really getting then? And at the end of the day, what are we really getting? Tori, give me that. I want you to respond on that. What are we really getting? If by chance, we all get a little complacent, we all, but like Eric said, body metabolism slows down over a period of time, as we get older. That's every human being thing. You can't stop that from happening. So what are we really getting, right? So are we motivated to make sure that we're healthy for our spouse? But when we ask them to, be the same way, now we're picking on them, right? And with that being said, is love enough, right? Because some people say all you need is love, and that's cool. But we want to age gracefully.
My thing is, it's all, to me, like I say, it's all about balance, and it's whatever you take out and whatever you putting in. You know what I'm saying? So it you my guy, so. And even in our relationship, there's conversations, there's certain situations that you need to feel good for us to build this relationship and keep it going. Because you met a lot of other guys before and those relationships fell off. But me being a man of my word, that's what makes you feel comfortable to invest your time and energy into me. And that goes vice versa, for your wife. So with me, like I tell you, I put my wife against anybody's. as looks. You know what I'm saying? And when she gained weight, it didn't bother me. More than anything that bothered me more is supportive, being supportive.
Yeah. Well, that's coming. That's actually. I'm glad you brought that up because that's actually a good segue into the next question. And I'm gonna ask this to Joe. And Joe, my question to you is that do you think that men and women have a duty in a relationship? Now, let me make sure I'm clear when I ask that question. Do you think that it's a woman's duty to make sure that she motivates her man? You know, for keeping them, you understand what I'm saying? Whether it's health, job, love, emotion, feelings, whatever the case may be. And do you think that it's a man's job to motivate his wife? I'm talking about job, health. I mean, I'm talking about the whole compass of
I mean, yeah, even just ending the last question, like even if you get a little overweight or you know uh you trying to I'm trying to get it right. You trying to get them going, vice versa, even if it's with you, motivating for a new job or trying to be supportive and just trying to, basically I'm kind of lost right now. But
no, it's all good. It's all good.
And just, yeah, really being supportive, as in even if it's a new job or even if you because I'm still on the last question really, as in, even if it's just, you're overweight, y'all can kind of work it together, to try to, even if it's you seeing the next woman, like Brother John said, you can be in the store, you can see, another woman say, God damn, like wife and, try to play it up. Maybe get, get something to eat. Like I think in Why Did I Get Married? I think it was Chris Rock. And, she's like, no, I like these. And, she holds up the big one, but, and we holding up the little one, something like that. You try to be supportive about we're going to hit this gym or, and it's vice versa with the guy, as in, even if she's trying to be your backbone, come on, baby, you can do this. I know you didn't have work today, but tomorrow is the new day. You're looking for a job and just trying to, just try to stay ahead and just y'all both have that balance between support each other.
Gotcha. Tori, you was gonna say something? It's like you was on that tip of your tongue.
Yeah, because like I say, it's like what John say is like we have to understand men are visual. We and women must understand that, and they feel intimidated by another woman's presence, because as we are man, we're hunters.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And women are nurturers. So when they look at us looking at another woman, they feel their protection is threatened. So my thing is that the way I look at it, yes, that is cute, but that is not what I want. It's a pleasing to the eye, but I done invested X amount of years into you. You know what I'm saying? So you got something that she would never have.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, that's
she may have a look, but you got me.
Dude, you spot on.
Home every night.
Yep. You are spot on.
So,
spot on.
A lot of females will look at it like a guy and figure he's attractive, but she would not embark on that endeavor. And that's how once a real man is in love with a woman, that's how he feels. He'll look, I'll window shop, but I'm not purchasing.
Yeah. No, that's spot on. I think though too. I think that in my from my opinion, I think that a lot of people don't realize what's really all at stake. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you might see somebody that's attractive, and you might man or woman or whomever, but you got to go back and think about the insurance policies. You got to think about the mortgage. You got to think about the shit that really matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the assets. Yeah,
the assets, because they can look good all day long, but they don't have access to none of that. So at the end of the day, okay, beauty's on the skin deep. I get it, the temptations, whatever. But at the same time, we all got to age, right? We all have to. And the point, what I'm trying to say here is aging gracefully, right? I don't want to be a 50-year-old man looking 70. You know what I mean? But anything, I want to look at least 30. Give me some pocket change on that.
That's what you said, Shabazz. Me and you talked about it. My thing is that's like going back and that communicating thing, understanding who your partner is, and learn how to communicate the way that they can hear you and not feel threatened.
I think we got a question. I think we got somebody going to ask a question real quick. Let me add him to the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on. Hello there. Are you there? I think they want to ask a question, but I don't know if your mic's muted. I think your mic's muted. Are you there? Yeah, I think her mic's muted, so it's okay. We'll come back.
Let me piggyback on what you was talking about. Is it the wife's responsibility to lift us up? Absolutely, because as a black man, we're already typically having an uphill battle anyway, because a lot of people are threatened by us. Okay, so when I come home, I want my wife to tell me, how was your day? Did you do a good job? And in my business, I talk to people all the time. I need for you to stroke my ego, okay? And I need to know that that's genuine, because you with me. We're married. I want the genuine shit, okay? I know out there it could be a facade. They could be telling me what they need to tell me to get whatever it is I got.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. But I know when she's telling me that it's real. Okay. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be real, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I need that, but at the same token, I got to do the same thing for her. And a lot of times, what happens with both men and women is that we ask for them to give us this, but we don't give the exchange, and it's going back to reciprocate. Okay. If you're asking me to give you this, then you need to give me this too. And believe it or not, it is going to be tit for tat. Okay. So many times I've tried to take the high ground and say, well, I'm not going to bring that to her attention because I don't want no argument. But then after a while, she kept bringing my shit up. I said, well, I got to do the tit for tat with you too. Yeah. Okay. I got to let you know you messed up here too. Here it is. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think we got this caller up wants to get in real quick. John. That's good. Okay. I think this caller wants to ask a question real quick. Let me let him in. Hey, you wanna? Are you there? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Yes. Now we can.
Oh, y'all, man on fire, my ass. Excuse me.
Your question, please.
Because I'm on fire over here because I've been trying to get in. So a lot of I'm LaCarol. I go by Virgo Blue, and me and Jamila has been Baz has been friends for years. But yeah, a lot of the points that you all are making are true, but when it comes to the glances or the stares or looking at eye candy and window shopping and things like that, we women do it too. The thing about us is we don't do it to the point where we're getting caught doing it. Y'all don't care.
Well, I wouldn't say we don't care now.
Right. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say I don't care either.
Here's the thing, because I've been trying to get in for a minute. Y'all been talking. Hold on.
Okay. Come on.
So what I'm saying is, it's not that y'all don't care. So maybe I used the wrong verbiage for that. It's the fact that y'all are so caught up in the stare that y'all don't even pick up that we've caught on to you staring at the next one.
So I have something for you. So
you kind of get lost in the stare. You kind of get lost in the window shopping. You almost got your hand on your wallet because you're almost there to purchase.
So have you ever thought that it was intentional?
I think in different situationships that I've been in, that some may have been intentional because they may feel like maybe I wasn't giving them enough attention, or that they still can pull one.
Well, and it doesn't have to be that, because some men, we're visual creatures, but sometimes we don't have the words or the language to relate to that woman to get the point across of what he's trying to say. So oftentimes we look for different segues to say, hey, maybe it's a dress code, maybe it's something. And if he sees another woman that has that attribute that sparks that conversation, he probably will push the envelope a little bit further. So now he can now point to you and say, hey, baby, this is what I'm talking about. She's wearing jeans with heels and a blouse or this, that, and the other, or look at the hairstyle or whatever it may be that floats that man's boat. A lot of times it's a man trying to figure out a way to communicate what he's really saying or wanting.
And I get that too. I get that too on another person, because I have to toot my own horn. I'm built like a brick house. I can dress my tail off. So if anything, it would be him looking else, for whatever else, for what other purposes that he has built up in his brain or his body. I don't know. But it's all a way of doing things and being respectful at that too. Because I'm straight. As a straight line, I'm straight. But if I see a female that's attractive or that is dressed, to the beat, I'm natural, so I don't do the weave and the lashes and all the other extra garbage. But I'll compliment her style or something. I'm very vocal about my opinion. If you can't tell already. So if somebody's looking fly, I'm gonna dress it in front of my man. Because you probably 9 times out of 10 looked anyway, but I'm gonna address it. But I'm the most down to earth person you'll ever meet. You don't have to do anything sneaky or sly around me. My thing is, if you can do it in my face, if you can do it behind my back, you can do it in my face. Just be respectful with it.
Well, see, that's a very, I guess I say a needle in a haystack, right? Because not everybody or not every woman is that self-assured of themselves. So you have a lot of people out here that are somewhat, shall I say, have issues with self-esteem, and so when they see someone that may be somewhat a little bit more, dressier or a little better, physique or whatever, then, that can play somewhat of a role on their psyche. So, it's not saying that, women are God's gift to men. We all agree to that at the same time. But if you with me, you with me. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But here's another thing.
That's 2 or 3 minutes. Look, I'm going home with you.
Right. But here's another thing though. You will be by a natural. Say for instance, myself. I'm natural beauty. I don't have to put much makeup on. I don't really have to put none on. A dress to the beat. I'm kind of probably going off subject a little bit. But my point is, y'all have everything natural in a person right beside you, and then go out and will kind of do a long standing glare or glance at somebody that's totally false. Plastic butt,
can I ask you
wig, lashes.
So
it's like, are you attracted to me, or are you attracted to that type of person?
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Tori.
Yes.
All right. I hear everything that you're saying. And my thing is this is like part of that communication of the relationship, because of what you're saying. What you think is respectful and what I am doing could be off. Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to disrespect you in no way. I personally, I love fashion. Mm-hmm. So if something catches my eye, I'm breaking it down.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Doubt. So that long stare that you thought that I was looking out, it was not lust. But now
that's key.
Because you didn't converse with me, you got an attitude and you're thinking that it's lust that I'm seeing. And it's not that I want her. I sometimes wonder what made her put that on. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Why is her hair? This.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's the key.
I get that. I get that because we stare at it too. Best believe it. I'm a fashionista. So I'm looking too.
Right. So if we're together, and let's say, like I said, I've been with my wife for 24 years. So after 5 years, I don't believe that should be a problem no more, because by this time, that's who Tori is. Tori's not trying to be disrespectful. He's not, you know what I'm saying, being flirtatious. And I'll be honest with you. My baby girl, my daughters, they said, Dad, sometimes you stare too long. What's too long? I don't understand. You would have to stop me at that moment, which I'm open-minded enough to have that conversation with you.
Okay.
Right.
You know
Well,
what I'm saying? Corey, why are you looking?
Well, here's something that I think is needs to be said though. There is an element of a stare versus a look. And I'm conscious of, if I'm looking at a female and I'm with my wife, I know the difference. Now I'm with the brothers, it's a different story. But when I'm with my wife, there is a difference. However, like my brother was saying before, sometimes, most men who are really into their wives and that's their mate, that's their yoke, they don't want to disrespect their wives. They don't want to hurt their wives. They don't want to say that, hey, she looks like this. Why can't you look like that? We don't. But what we're trying to say is that, when we go out, there's a certain protocol. Okay. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but there's a certain protocol. Just like if I was taking my wife to a place like a business function or something like that, I want her to be on point. Just like I'm going to be on point, okay? But at the same token, there's a casual point in this too that I've been seeing. That I've seen a lot of women that'll come out wearing pajamas. I've seen it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, now you know,
and the bonnet,
they just got off and now that don't make no sense. And the brother is with him, and sometimes he's better looking, or sometimes he's just as bad. And I said, now, that don't make no sense. So I make it a point that before I go out the door, I look in the mirror and say, do I look okay? And I know sometimes my color coordination ain't right. So I say, well, honey, am I cool? Okay. And she'll tell me, okay. And I say, okay, now if she tells me I'm cool, then I feel comfortable in what I'm doing. I can go out here and tackle the world. But there's sometimes my wife will say, no, don't go out there. Now, if she could tell me that and I could take that, I should be able to tell her that without offending her. I can say, oh, baby, I don't think that's the right move right now. Okay. But then I can see it in her face. I can see in the way she starts acting after I've made that statement. And I feel like, damn, I just said something that hurt her. And that was not my intention. Right. My intention was, there it is, emotional.
Yeah,
right.
Emotional.
Because that was not my intention. My intention was to say, hey, baby, can you just step it up just a little bit? I mean, you got a whole closet full of clothes.
Hold up. First and foremost,
I'm gonna let you answer this, girl, but we gonna get back on message. But go ahead.
We ain't doing the step it up. So please don't tell your wife or your woman to step nothing up. That's not the phrase you use.
What's the phrase then?
What's the phrase?
What's the phrase?
How do we communicate that so that we're not saying something that's disrespectful or hurting someone? Explain it to us.
Go window shopping or whatever with her, and pick out these certain little items and say, I would love to see you in this.
She don't window shop.
I tried that. And she don't want to window shop either. I tried that. Okay.
Okay. So bring it to her. Bring it home to her. And be like,
I tried that too, but she doesn't like me to shop for her.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, honey, stepping it up is not the word. That's not the phrase.
I don't want to wear that.
Yeah, I even went out and got a magazine. Okay. And I was looking at a magazine that I would not look at. And I was saying, damn, baby, what do you think about that? Okay. I was going that route.
Okay.
But anyway.
So I like that you're creative. I like that you're creative because you're trying.
Yeah.
She's just difficult a little bit.
So we are going to get back on subject.
Okay.
Virgo Blue, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you.
It was nice meeting you.
Likewise.
Virgo Blue, yeah. And one more thing, though. Sometimes my girl will see another chick, or we'll be on Instagram, and she'll be like, I probably can wear that better than her. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm going to get this outfit or whatever, or we'll just look at it. There's some things that'll pop up on the gram. I'll shoot it to my girl. And she'll be like, damn, you like that? I'm like, man, that looks cool. Then ordered it for her and everything. So, I mean, it can't go both ways. I'm saying, Virgo Blue, don't say step it up. Don't, things like that. But, hey,
please don't.
Step it up.
That's an insult. That's an insult.
No, and I understand that. But I come like, man, some women don't like wearing something. What business? some bathing or something. You know, here we gonna go to the DR in a couple of weeks, and it's just, you know, man. I mean, I understand you natural. She may want to go with the weed, or she may not to let the water get in her original hair. I mean, that's how most women be like, no, you know, I don't want my hair to get damaged by the sunlight or the water or this and that.
Now they're extra. They're extra.
Well,
They are in denial of who their natural self is. So that's why they hide behind the window shade lashes, the wigs, and all the plastic and fillers.
Well, we are about to get back on task.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. All right. I will talk to you later. Virgo Blue, everybody. Virgo Blue.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
All right now.
All right. So we're going to go get back on task because we kind of got off on a tangent. Now we're going to go ahead and get back on the mission of the actual show. Now let's talk about intimacy. Okay. That's a big one. Okay. That's a big one. Everybody wants it, but not everybody knows how to manage it.
Yep.
Now that's always, I'll be the first to admit, intimacy is not my strong suit, you know, but at the same time, I'm still a work in progress, right? And everybody says I'm a work in progress, all that bullshit, whatever, but still I'm a work in progress. But what I'm saying is that, you know, I believe that motivation in the bedroom. What's the motivation, right? This is going to be somewhat of a touchy subject for individuals. Right. You know, the bonnets, the flannel pajamas, they just don't do it. You know, they just don't do it. You know what I mean? You know, so there has to be some motivation for both people, obviously, to want to engage, you know, in physical connection. So I'm going to ask you, Tori, I'm gonna start with you. And you know, I'm picking with you, bro. Yeah. But I'm gonna ask you: do you think that that's very important to basically to be presentable when it comes to that time, or do you believe that intimacy starts out of the bedroom?
Out of the bedroom.
Okay.
That's a given. Outside of the bedroom, if I can't connect with you. You know what I'm saying? If I can't send you texts and songs and, you know, those things like that to make me connected to you. And all of that also relates to what we just left the conversation from. You know what I'm saying? As a man, we have ego. So therefore, if I don't feel that you're supporting me or you believe in me, that takes away from the intimacy. Because that's the connection. You know what I'm saying? So if we're quarreling, and all right, let me put it like this. I know I was a runner before I got married. I was a runner. If we arguing, well, this ain't working. Let me go over here. You know what I'm saying? And like what I told you before, like Drake say, how you gonna find somebody special when everybody want to leave with you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's hard to find that intimacy then. Because it's just ha. You know what I'm saying? So, but then when you sat down and you really know a person, like, you know, and y'all all know, you knew who your wife was going to be when you met her because there was something about her that was different.
Right.
So
That's
you
true.
Ain't got that connection still. There's something wrong.
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying?
That's true.
You got to make me want to come home. You know what I'm saying? That's intimacy.
That's very true. That's
you know
very
what I'm
true.
saying?
You fight enough battles out there in the street. You ain't trying to fight none at home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you deal with enough, and so when you
fight the world, then come on and fight you.
Yeah, and that's you're spot on, Tori.
And again, what a woman is made to be loved. So allow me to feel comfortable to love you.
But you know what though? So are we as men. You know what I'm saying?
True.
We are waiting to be loved too. And I want to make sure
man, you talked about this before.
Right. But I want to make sure I'm clear on something though.
Hold on. But a woman knows how to love. We have to be taught.
don't necessarily agree.
I know how to love, man. I know how to
Yeah,
love.
I don't necessarily agree to that. I don't necessarily subscribe to that philosophy.
I'm listening.
But what here's the thing,
because I promise you, y'all did things for your wife that y'all did for no other woman. Because she took you outside that box.
no doubt. But the thing about it is though too,
So she taught you.
Men know how to love too. Men know how to love. Men just don't love on everybody.
No,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah,
but showing it and how to nurture love. Nah, you know what I'm saying. You're capable of loving. You know you feel something for this person, but how do you get this?
Well, see, here's the thing though. It's the interpretation of love, though, man. That's what I'm saying. You know, having sex with somebody ain't love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, buying somebody something ain't love. You know what I'm saying? Being there for them when they sick, when they can't walk, when they going through a terrible time when the parents, somebody has died in their family. So, you know, being supportive, that's love, bro.
Who was your best man?
Oh, you got it. You already know.
All right. So I know how far she took you outside your box. She taught you some things, bro. Don't do me.
Well, you know,
so Joe, what do you think about that?
Well, I ain't with the bonnet, you know, going to bed. I don't like that. He knew that, you know, when we coming in. Well, I'm probably the newest one out of you all. You know, I'm divorced now. I'm in a relationship, and we've been together 5 years. So she know don't do the bonnet. She may go to bed with the boy shorts on. It be the attraction, you know. But I understand what Tori talked about. You know, you don't have stars in the bedroom. It can feel, you know, just the things outside of, you know, sending your little songs here and there. But hey, I just, you know, embassy, man, it's just, hey, the bedroom, whatever. I mean, still new at it, you know. I'm doing it all over again. So.
Sure. Everybody's different. I get it. I get it. Well, I know, John. I can feel you getting on the tip of your tongue. I'm gonna hit E with this one.
No, go ahead.
So E, go ahead. So tell me exactly, you know, your philosophy and concept of intimacy. What do you think that entails?
I agree. I think it should be, or, well, you know what, to be honest with you, it can be stimulated in and outside the bedroom. You know, it just depends on the contrast of it. I mean, you could be spontaneous, you could plan it. I mean, if it's an anniversary or birthday or just because, you can set the mood and execute it however you choose to. I think the key is that whether it be for me, am I getting it? Or for her, is she getting it? You know, whether it stems in or outside the bedroom. And then that needs to be addressed if it's happening or not. Because a lot of times in a lot of relationships, you know, it's bone dry. Ain't nothing happening. And ain't nobody trying. You know what I'm saying? So for me, you know, I'm not down with the bonnets and the flannel or, you know, just looking ratchet. You know, have some type of some effort into being appealing so intimacy can take place.
Gotcha. No, that makes exactly because you want to be able to be turned on, you know, on site. You know what Brady Mac say? You know, you want to, you know, mess them up on site. You know what I mean?
We're visual.
Exactly. You want to be exactly with a visual. Exactly. You know, so that plays a big role. So John, go ahead. I know it's on tip of your tongue.
Well, they knew how to hook us in the first place, right? Okay. Right. So now I do know that as things go, we get older, we get a little bit more relaxed, but you know what you need to do so I can get that apple butter on my biscuits. You know what to do. All right. And so for me, the way I do it for my wife knows I love to sing. I call her up all the time and sing. I just call her to say I love you. You know, that song by Stevie Wonder, and she liked that. Now, as we go along, though, sometimes I see when I start being real intimate to her. And I don't know if this is really my own interpretation. I feel like she's a little bit nervous or maybe she didn't expect me to continue to do this, because like I said, I've been married for almost 22 years. But see, to me, I want to, whatever it is that I got that allowed you to say that, hey, I'm picking you. I want to keep doing it, okay? Because I what I get out of it. I'm at the stage now that sex is cool, but I like the part of doing these little things that I was doing when I was courting her, okay?
Sure.
That's the part that I like, okay? Because I know if I say, hey, baby, I need to be done, okay? I know that she's gonna do me, okay? Okay, so I already know that, okay?
Okay, all right, I hear you.
But I also know too that she likes that foreplay, that intimacy, and I like it too, okay?
Right.
Now, with that being said, I also know there's sometimes when I'm very intimate with her, and then it doesn't I don't get reciprocated back. She like, nah, nigga, not today. Okay, I'm like, what's wrong? What happened? She's like, I'm just not feeling you right now. I was like, yeah, I guess it does happen with women a lot more than men, because you could drop a dime and say, hey, you want it? I'll go right at it, for me, okay?
Right.
But they, on the other hand, they're not like that, okay? They're not built like that, okay? They got to really, they got to be in the mood.
Well, Tori was spot on when he said that as far as being emotional, right? Because, when I believe, being a father of girls myself, you know what I'm saying, and them seeing them in relationships and things of that nature, when they are in these relationships, I pray that they are in some type of emotional type of commitment relationship, and not out here just loosey goosey, every time dick and hair, you know what I'm saying? So I understand that it has to be special for a woman. I get that, you know what I'm saying, and that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same token too, everybody has needs and desires and wants and so forth, and so we as men and as fathers and brothers and things of that nature, we have to understand that perspective. So I get it,
So what I say, it goes back to what I'm saying. She's going to have to teach you.
Because, but what makes them think that I was on a date one time with a young lady, and we had a great time, and we wind up getting together many years ago, and then we just didn't click after that. You know what I mean? And she says, I knew you were going to do me like that right after I gave you what you wanted. And I said, hold up. What makes you think that yours is any better than mine? I gave you two. You know what I mean? I had to break it to her like that. I said, I gave two.
John, no disrespect, but that's like fornication. That's lust. We're talking about, to me, intimacy. So intimacy to me is a conversation, it's the connection. So
but they use that in the bedroom too. They do that too. They do that right now, man. Women who are married to men, if they want to get something out of you, they will hold back. Okay, right or wrong.
You dealing with something I never dealt with.
They'll offer it up.
You dealing with something I never really dealt with.
Okay, now bear in mind, this was way back. I'm not saying I'm having that type of situation with my wife, but what I'm saying is I know women do that. It's a tool. They use the tool. Okay, we buy into the tool. You just said it yourself. You said that they took you outside the box. They know exactly what get us. They know that. All right. They know that all we care about is a clean house. Can I get cheese on it? Right.
But when you're talking about intimacy, you should be so in tune with your woman that there should be no.
Oh yes, women. No. That's not correct, man. No, it's just as powerful as yes. No, it's just as powerful as yes. Don't get that twisted, brother. No, it's just as powerful as yes. Let me tell you the reason why. Let me tell you the reason why I say that. Let me tell you the reason why I say that. There's so many times I have said yes to appease somebody when I should have said no.
I hear what you're saying, sir. I'm not arguing your fact.
I know, but I'm saying no is just as important as yes.
But the females that I was with, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I was into them. So intimacy was never a problem. So as men, you want to move how you want to move it. Then when you want what you want, that's fornication and lust. But if you into this woman, you know how she is.
Wait a minute. Why would that be fornication and lust if you're married to her, man? I mean, there's certain duties. When I said I do, when I said I
don't know
do,
about that, but I don't.
when I said I do,
If you're
that
married
means
to
you
the,
will.
if you're married to the woman that you're trying to be intimate with, man, ain't no fornication, bro.
No, ain't no fornication, right?
You are legally
when I got married,
and
me being
bound to the woman.
when I got married, I had to tell young brothers in the barbershop. They said, you ain't a player no more. I said, no, I got to work 3 times as hard now. I still got to be that player. I still got to be in tune with her.
Yeah, but you ain't fornicating, though.
Yeah, you're not fornicating.
You're not fornicating. You married.
No, you can still have fornication with your wife.
How?
Because if there's no intimacy there, there's no real connection, you just want to bust a nut. You're not into that.
Still not fornicating.
No, brother. No, I can't go down that path with you, brother.
Man, you're not fornicating. You know what? Let's go ahead and switch. Let's go ahead and
What you mean, Tori? It ain't love. Y'all just fucking. Fornication. You just
no fornication.
What you're saying? That's what I'm saying. Because again, I'm going to be into her to the point where I want to make him happy. I want him to be satisfied.
I know what you're saying, brother, but I'm also, we're being real here. My wife comes out in the thong and there's my high heel shoes on. I'm getting it. Okay.
I know that's right, bro.
And I know you are too, right? Okay, and I know you are too, right?
But she got you that night. You didn't get her.
Wait a minute. Okay. All right, man. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
Let's shift gears to I got two more sub subjects to bring in. And then this is financial now, right? Financial. Okay. Let's talk about the motivation of carrying the financial load of the household. Now, understand what I mean when I say that. Okay. So inside of your home, now of course everybody's financial situation is different, and please, there's no judgment on any of this. Do you feel that plays a role as far as you're taking care of things and you managing this? Something get broke, you fix it, and things of that nature. Do you think, should you have motivation in that space to even take initiative to get stuff done? Like, some folks can procrastinate, right? Something needs to be done, or like, car needs to be fixed, or the brakes or whatever, this and the third. What's my motivation for getting it fixed? Or what's my motivation? I got to pay for it. What am I getting back in return? So, right. so technically speaking, I'm making sure everything is running like clockwork in this bitch. And I ain't getting nothing back in return. So what's my motivation?
And it can't be just a meal.
What y'all said, like, that baffles me, because again, like, I don't cook. I barely clean. But when something breaks down in the house, I got that. So we have a mutual understanding that this is how it works.
Well, see, and that's like I said, it doesn't apply to everyone.
Correct.
But in some situations, it applies to a lot of us. So I'm just simply saying that what is the motivation for someone? I can't really ask you this question, Tori, because you said they don't apply to you. So what's the motivation for you to want to continue to make sure that you are in a optimal environment for your family, right?
When she stopped doing what she's supposed to do, what she's been doing, as far as the family. And
let me ask Joe this question, though. I want to point to Joe on this one. Joe, what's the motivation for you to make sure that rent's paid or mortgage is paid, the 401k is in order, the life insurance is good, the cars is fixed, and there's food in the cupboard. It's like the old folks. There's food in the cabinets.
I'm gonna try to keep a roof over my head. I'm gonna keep things going and everything. If the household is taken care of, as in her part or whatever, if she either, like as what we said, hell, I don't cook, so if she cooking and whatever gets broken or whatever, if I'm fixing it or getting it fixed, but still at the same time, kind of appreciate it. You safe in the house, it's protected. I done this or done that, but at the same time, I mean, still show me some type of respect or something, even if I'm not saying we got live-ins or kids or this and that. We all gonna pull our weight, but at the
Bingo.
same time, I'ma still make it, you know, that house. But I don't need nobody just as in, if somebody just there or, and you catering to that other person. And right when I don't do something, then, it's something as in, well,
Now you're the bad guy, basically.
yeah, then I'm the bad guy. So,
Hmm.
but otherwise, everything else, from the car, okay, yeah, well, I got a slow leak in my tire, baby. Well, my car been smoking and it's been this and that, and I'm getting it fixed. I'm doing this, and the house, a hole that somebody put a hole in the wall, or microwave ain't working, or this got to be done, or sewer got to be rotted out, or this and that. So my motivation is being the man, just trying to get a house going. But at the same time, you gotta, man, kind of appreciate that, and and still have my back, as in just going through with the other kids or whoever at the house or whatever. I know I'm jumping the subject, but I'm just going through
No,
shit
no. I
right
mean,
now.
that's motivation, though, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
it's not
motivation.
jumping the
Yeah,
subject. That's
yeah,
motivation.
you're on point. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're on point.
because if you weren't receiving those those things, then how can you be motivated to do it? Right now, of course, obviously there's gonna be some repairs you got to do anyway because you live there too, right? So I mean,
Right.
the water here, hot water here to go out, you got to repair it because you got to take a shower too, like everybody else. But at the same time, you know, if you have to feel a sense of appreciation, you said the word right there, Joe. The sense of appreciation for you to be, Johnny on the spot to make sure things are getting taken care of.
Yeah.
So
I can stand around, I can look too, like you say, the hot water tank out or whatever. We both looking, and I'm like, when what? When what? When you get it fixed.
we got
We both looking like,
okay, we got
whatever.
somebody want to jump in and ask a question. Hold on for a second. We got somebody gonna jump in and ask a question. Okay, we got somebody. Levi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Levi, go ahead. Ask your question, my friend.
It's good to see you brothers having that healthy conversation. Knowing Joe, going back, knowing Joe and Jamil and Eric all these years, it's just good to see you brothers having that healthy conversation. What I will say is this, is that it really doesn't matter because we're going to have a place to stay no matter what. Referencing the question about, what's your motivation? Don't really need motivation, but I'm going to give you a little extra cream and a little cherry on the top.
There you go.
If you do what
There
you
you
need
go.
to do, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, we're going to take care of our bills anyways. We're going to pay the bills. We're going to do what we got to do. We're going to manage because that's just what we do. As Black men, we're going to do what we got to do anyways. That's just the history of who we are, So regardless of who we're with, I just think that as a Black man, if you're taking care of us and doing those things, it's going to be reciprocated right back to you.
Mhm.
That's just who we are. And number one, we are by nature is a woman. I'm just referencing something you said earlier. Women naturally know how to love and nurture, and I think that as men, that's something that we learn at a young age. And for some of us, it's missed. It's missed at a young age, but we learn it later in life because our wives and our girlfriends and our mothers help kind of show us how to be better men, but not necessarily that we didn't have all the tools in the tool belt. We just maybe was missing a couple nails or a hammer. There was just things that we were missing in that tool belt that they helped give us.
Right.
So that's all I have to say, gentlemen.
Okay. Well, thank you.
All right,
Thank you, brother Levi.
Appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate you, Levi. Appreciate you. All right. So Levi comes in and he makes a statement, saying that we missing tools in the toolbox. I'm sorry, tools in the tool belt. And I get it, right? Because some of us haven't been nurtured and don't know how to love properly. We all know how to love. It's just how to love that person.
Right. An individual.
And learning their love language because we're all different. Mine is words of affirmation, and acts of service. That's just my personal love language, for me. So we're all different. Somebody's touch, some is gifts, things of that nature, so it just depends on whom that person is. So I can dig it. I mean, I understand where it's coming from, but we're talking about money now. So now here's a question, and I'm gonna got this for you because John, you are my my financial guy. So I'm gonna ask you a money question. Okay, so I guess the question is that the financial load, right, that we carry in our households, right? So we got 100%, right? Bills, mortgage, everything, 100%. How much of a financial load should a man carry to be motivated to take care of his family?
Well, and that's a good question. I mean, one of the things that we know in our community is that we're always lax in being able to generate wealth, generational wealth. When we die, or even if we don't die, something happens. You need a brake job, or you need a new engine, and people are not usually financially equipped to handle that. So as a man, I know for me, I want to make sure that I'm at least anywhere between 80 to 90% financially equipped to do that. But I also want my wife to be in a position to do that too. Because the thing is, when women get to the point where they solely depend on their husband for their financial well-being, that is a disaster, period. Because what happens is they lack the motivation, or they lack the tools to actually go out there and do it on their own. And then they're going to be out there looking for another man to pick up that slack. Okay. So I make it a point to let my wife know that, hey, here's our financial situation. And I do know that that's something that's been taught for women. Women stay home, take care of the house. The man goes out and hunts, bring home the food. Okay. But things are shifting now. And it's actually taking two incomes to run a household. Okay. Now, fortunately for me, I handle the load of the finances, but that's by design. Okay. I'm old school. So I knew when I met my wife, I was going to let her know that, hey, if you didn't want to work, you don't have to work. Okay. As long as everything else is taken care of home. And one of the problems that we tend to minimize and I put value on is what the wife does in the home. Okay. Because even though I'm going out here making the money, there's value that she's putting into the household too. Okay. I don't like cleaning the bathroom. I'll tell you that out the gate, but she gets in there and takes care of it. Okay. So there's a give and take. But as far as being financially responsible, yeah, there's times when I don't let my wife know everything's going on financially because I think it'd be too much for her. Okay. Because I've dealt with it. I've dealt with six-figure income. I've dealt with purchasing a couple of businesses and then they fail. Okay. And how to brush it off and get back up and keep running. Sure. I wouldn't want to put her through that. In fact, when I met my wife, I went out and got a corporate job. I mean, because I've always been an entrepreneur. You know this, Jamel. I've always been an entrepreneur, okay? But I didn't want to put her through that because, see, for me, feast or famine, that's what I'm used to. But when I said I'm going to marry her, I'm not going to put her through that because I know she hasn't been exposed to that, okay? Sure. But as soon as I got myself together, and I said, okay, now, honey, here's the deal. I can keep working for corporate America. All right, because they're not going to pay me for what I'm worth. So we're going to have feast or famine, but I'm going to make sure that we're always taken care of. Sure. Okay. So that's how I put my stuff together on that tip. Now I wanted to go back to one thing though. When it talks about appreciation, what motivates you to do it? What motivates me to do what I do, which really is something that we're supposed to do anyway as Black men, but still, I still need you to stroke me. I that's what motivates me. Okay. When my wife comes to me and says, baby, thank you so much for taking care of that. That makes me feel good inside. You know what I mean? I was going to take care of it anyway. Yeah, I was going to take care of it anyway. But the fact that you came to me, acknowledged that I did that, made me feel good. Okay. So as long as you're giving me something, let me know that you're not taking me for granted. But on the verse side of that, you got to do the same thing for the wife. My laundry's always done right. Okay. When I do my laundry, man, I just throw in darks and whites all together. But she sorts it out, folds it up. I tell her, baby, I appreciate that, So
gotcha. Let me ask. Thank you, John. I got this question is for Eric. Question is that just dealing with disagreements, right? What the motivation of trying to squash anything that is not that important, right? We can sit here and we've all done it, right? We've all been mad at the other person, in our lives, and we've been ain't talked for 3 or 4 days, and so what's that motivation to say, you know what, enough is enough. Let me put this to rest and let me try to find out what I can do to find a resolution. Because if we keep going to this route, shit, we ain't going to speak for another 3 or 4 days. So
JDBazz, how do I see the chat? What people are chatting and conversate at the same time?
Well, I believe that there's a private chat on it. I'm not sure if you got that link or not, but I will, as Eric is responding, let me see see if I can see some. Okay, go ahead, Eric.
All right. Thank you, boss.
Mm.
Before I answer that question, I want to kind of revert back to the financial piece from when John was speaking. So just to add to what he was saying is that it's different strokes for different folks, and he's 100%, 1000% correct on how he handled the situation. Now, from my viewpoint, in my opinion, based on the economic situation that has turned within our current, economy and structure, it hurts a man if he's 100% the provider. It's always better if it's that way. But I've been in a position to where I was 100% and everything was in my name, and that actually ruined the credit. Because now the economic shift now is turned to where your credit is just as viable, if not more, than your financial worth.
Sure.
Yep, you're right.
So I had to look at the spectrum and say, hey, but like you said, John, you want to be the provider, and she could be the homemaker, and she's doing all these needful things. But as the house, the car, everything, the utilities is in the gentleman's name. Now your credit is drugged through the mud, and I was all top heavy, and I'm looking at kids to college, and I'm like, hey, I pay bills on time, and I'm credit worthy, but I got too much.
Yep.
I got too much, so I sat down with my better half and I said, look, we got to divide and conquer. I need to shift some of this stuff your way so we both can have a level playing field and divide and conquer.
Now, good,
so,
that's a good segue. I mean, that's a good question, right? I'm thinking about it. So what I'm hearing is that you have to sit down with your better half to make sure things were financially stable. How important is that, sitting down with your spouse or mate and going over the financial picture of your household? How important is that, and what should be the frequency?
Well, for us, it was huge. First of all, she had the aptitude and was ready to sit down and listen. And then when I explained it to her, she was like, I get the bigger picture. Now, she's already understood that I am the provider. I'm the head of the household. So, baby, if you're coming to me and saying, hey, this is a concern, how do we fix it? How do we make it better? And I said, well, we're going to shift some things. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And if you trust me and I am the household, the leader of the household and the provider, then let's get you in line. So now you can actually help balance us out.
There you go.
And I'm continue to lead down that road. And as we raised the family and stuff like that, she took the pride and the mantle to even explain that as a nurturer to the children, saying, hey, I don't know what the mortgage is. I don't know what the car note is. Your dad take care of all of that.
Yes, but I think that's terrible.
Well, and that's perfectly fine. But we understood it that, the income all came into the household, where regardless of whose name it is, she still trusted in me to navigate it so that we are thriving. That's a trust factor. So it worked great. It wasn't an issue. It was just coming to the true point of it is having that conversation to understand it, because then if we have two separate viewpoints and we're already a couple, she's going one way and I'm going one way, that's the house divided.
Yep.
Go ahead, Tori.
Let me finish. Let me answer his initial question to me. How do you fix if it's an issue, if I'm repeating that correctly? Well, first of all, if I feel there's an issue and how would I squash that, it still goes right back to communication. If I have a concern about anything, whether it's who cooking, who washing, or what's going on, hey, we got to sit down and have a conversation. We two adults, let's talk about this thing. I don't want to go to bed mad. But if I'm sleeping in the guest bedroom and I'm sleeping on the couch, you damn well believe that the conversational piece, blew up.
Gotcha.
And then now it's time to hit the reset button.
Yeah.
Man,
that makes perfect sense. Go ahead, Tori.
I like what the guy who came on named Levi, and me understanding knowledge is built on 360 degrees. There's no one way to get this done. You know what I'm saying? So, I love the fact that we are all men and we're talking about our issues or our situations, so somebody else can pull from it. And I've been doing this in the barbershop for years. You know what I'm saying? So I want to tell everybody on the panel, thank y'all for sharing. And, again, it's all about communication and knowing what works for you.
Yep.
And that comes through conversation as grown people. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I don't want to sit up here and say what I'm saying is totally right or disagree with somebody else and say they're wrong,
Right.
because I believe somebody can pull from it
Oh,
in different
absolutely.
ways. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
My wife
Absolutely.
told me one time, she said, Tori, I'm gonna quit my job. And I said, all right, you can quit your job, but before you get home, you better have another one, because we're a two-parent income, God dang it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We are a two-parent income for what we do. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to, hey, you want to scale back, we can give up some of the kids and move into a one bedroom, and I handle all that.
You a tough man, Tori. You a tough man.
Boy, you know what I mean?
Well, straight to the point.
So let's shift real quick. Let's talk solutions, right? Let's talk about how do we do this as a combined effort to overcome the challenges we face together as as men and as couples and so forth. So this right here, this section of the podcast is trying to give some advice to other men that may be faced with some of these motivational issues when it comes to, taking care of their family, taking care of themselves, taking care of their mental health, dealing with disagreements and so forth. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to I got 4 or 5 points. I'll give each one of you guys a point to elaborate on.
Okay.
Right. So I'm going to start with you, John. And the point I have for you is know your role. Okay. In a relationship, how can couples take that one line, knowing their roles, in order to motivate each other in their relationship?
Well, I think the first thing you do is you sit down at the table and you look at what your strong points are each and what your weak points are. And out of that, you'll be able to identify you're better at this, I'm better at this, and we both work the best on this part here where we're weak at.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as we both understand our attributes as well as our liabilities, so to speak, and we're aware of it, then we know that we can start moving towards that direction. But we got to be honest, okay? We got to be brutally honest, because sometimes nobody wants to be told that you're not this good in this area, which is what they've been doing, okay? So you got to say, well, let me give you an example. You talked about doing this, and I let you do it because I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Sure.
But then you did it again. So I got some history now to show you that this is not your strong point.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same token, I got to make sure that I give them the right reason why. Maybe your critical thinking, and I don't mean to get too deep with this, but maybe the way you think about things are a little bit different than the way I think about it.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
So you come to the table and you look at what your strong points are and you focus on those, and then everybody's got their weak part, and we work together on the weak part. And that's the best way I can put it on the table like that.
Okay. Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. The next one is for you, Joe. All right. It is give each other space. Right. So what do you think? How can we use that phrase, give each other space, in order to, overcome some of the challenges in the relationship?
I mean, sometimes you gotta kind of step away a little bit. That whatever the situation going on at that time, like times, me and my girl would get into it, give you your space or whatever, then you always can come back to it and kind of conquer whatever problem with what had happened at that time or whatever you're going through. Sometimes if you're going right at it, whatever's going on at that time, you may get each other space. Hey, I got to get out of here for a minute. If I got to ride down here to the local bar, or you leaving, you gonna ride to your girlfriend's house with, man, man, that shit always be, yeah, girl, you wouldn't never did anyway. But but just giving when you kind of come back, I think it's, well, baby, I understand what you were saying and this and that, and and I think you can kind of get things done then after you kind of come back after everything been calmed down. So I kind of look at it like that, like probably just gotta, you go and get your space, you go in that side of the room or the house or whatever, and actually, it's meaning
Yeah,
it like that, and
gotcha. That makes sense. All right, Eric, this one is for you. Um, adjust your expectations, right? What can we do how can we adjust our expectations of each other to help resolve challenges?
Step the game up. I don't want to digress. I want increase. If we've been together specifically over 2 to 3 years, step your game up. You got to step the game up. You can't stay stagnant. You can't live in the past. I'm a big person on growth, and that's even for myself. So if my mate and we in it to win it, you got to step the game up.
Okay. All right, Tori, this one is for you. Okay, this is a good one for you. Do regular maintenance. How do you deal with challenges by doing regular maintenance?
Take ego out the equation. You know what I'm saying? That's like I said earlier, women are emotional, men are literal. So with my literal thinking, I have to take my ego out of the equation that says what needs to be done to make things better. Because if I get caught on me and what I need to do, the whole ship falls down.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You turn me on to Kevin Samuels, and I like what Kevin Samuels says a lot.
I think all the brothers on this call know Kevin Samuels, right? Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Do I agree with one man 100%? No. But I learn from all men.
Absolutely, brother.
You know what I'm saying? So within all this, like I want to try to pull everything what you just said all together. And what I'm seeing is it starts with conversations. But how do you know how to approach a situation, a relationship through conversation? What I'm seeing as a barber and listening to a lot of these young people talk, and I got daughters, a lot of people, like when my mother taught me, when you're dating. We don't go together. So don't make me act like we go together when we're dating.
Right.
When we go together, don't try to make me a husband. And I feel like a lot of times in our situations, people jump situations and don't allow themselves to be in that space. And like John said, you have to be brutally honest. Because if you can't love me with my flaws, then you really don't love me. You know what I'm saying? You love what I do for you. You don't love me. And when you love somebody for themselves, there's nothing that you and that person can't achieve because y'all were willing to work together and compromise.
Gotcha. No,
That's it.
That makes sense.
That's all the thing. Like, not to harp on it, to go back. The way I look at it, my first concept of love was what my mother gave me. And I'm telling you right now, it's messed up because she gave me unconditional love. And nowadays, people don't know what unconditional love is. Everybody love comes under terms. You know what I'm saying? So therefore now, the person who took me to a next level was my wife. And she doesn't shut down on me. If she had shut down on me, we wouldn't be together.
Gotcha.
So now you understand that I'm putting it in this proper context.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. Yeah, I think I want to cap it off by saying, in order to deal with challenges in relationships, I think that we lose focus because we don't put each other first. I think that we put everything else in front of us, even our own children. And I believe that in the order of operation, children should not come before your spouse at all, in no capacity. And so, when we were younger, we probably thought, my kids this, my kids that. Fuck that. Kids they're going to grow up and they're going to be grown and gone, and they're going to be living their lives doing what they need to do. And I believe that at the end of the day, the person you're laying next to, the person you going to be growing old with, the person you're going to be in that rocking chair with, or watching TV with, hopefully, one day buried next to each other for all eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids are going to be living their lives, doing their thing.
Yep.
So, in my personal opinion, I believe once we understand that, and we really, really corely understand that philosophy, I think that can take care of a lot of problems. Because in order to be with me, I've got to be the priority. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. I've got to be number one.
So, Boz, do you believe your priority right now in your marriage? That's
a great question. I think that I'm in the top 5. Shit, at least
Well, hopefully you'll be hopefully you're number 1 in the top 5.
Yeah, exactly. The 1 in the top 5, right? No, but honestly, I think that's a space that we need to work on.
I agree.
I think that a lot of us want to be there. A lot of us are trying to show the other mate there, but I think sometimes we too don't put them first either. We say it, we want it, but we don't do it. So I think that sometimes it's not tit for tat. I want to make sure I'm very clear on that.
Mm-hmm.
But in order for me to be successful in my marriage, I have to be number 1. That's it.
Yep.
If I can't be number 1, I don't want it.
Yeah. Why are we here?
Yeah,
right. I'm with you on that.
You got to be head, not the tail.
Yeah, that's it.
When I got married, my grandfather, he sat me down and he said, "Tori, you have your wife and your mother in a boat. One got to be thrown out. Who gets thrown out, Tori?"
Damn.
Woo. You think about that one,
boy?
I said my wife.
There you go, dude. There you go.
I'm being 100 with y'all.
You're a fool, bro. You're a fool. But hey, listen, man. Listen, I'm gonna say.
So did he give you an answer?
Yes.
What did he say?
He said, "No, Tori, your mom has to be good thrown out." And he said, because she lived her life. This is the person you choose to live your rest of your life with. And that is your mate.
Well, you know what? We all learn from each man, and your grandfather could even learn. You should have said, "I'm throwing myself out."
Damn.
Self-preservation, right?
Yeah, we gotta take the bullet, man.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because again, listen to the knowledge that he gave me.
How about throwing them both out? Shit, I'm telling you, both of y'all can go.
Oh,
hey,
I love you, but you gotta go.
That woman multiplied.
That woman, that's your soulmate. Your mom.
I understand. You know what?
Boy, that's hard, man.
Yeah, the soulmate thing is another podcast, because I don't believe the person that you're with is actually your soulmate. That's just my personal opinion. But we will continue that on another show. That's not for this one. You know what I mean? So, gentlemen, I appreciate you. I thank you. You guys are all wonderful and great. Much love. And for the listeners out there, please tune in to menspeakingout.com. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, the whole 9. And I thank you, Tori, John, Eric, Joe, and this is Boz. And this is Ben Speaking Out.
All right. Peace.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Boy, that was